Be honest with yourself, and only yourself. When was the last time you went into the water just because you felt like it? Without thinking about who was standing on the shore? Without looking back? Without tugging your clothes into place? Without checking out of the corner of your eye how you looked from the outside? When was the last time you went into the sea as if it were yours and nobody else was there? If you've just thought about it and can't remember, you're not alone. And this video is for you. Let me describe a scene and you tell me whether you see yourself in it. A holiday by the sea. The one you wait for all year. Not for a month, not for two. For most of us, it's only 2 weeks out of the whole year. 12 months of work, worries, grandchildren, home, and then, at last, the sea. It's right there, just a few steps away. Warm, calm, inviting. And you're sitting under an umbrella, in a long tunic that sticks to your legs. Over that, an oversized shirt, because that feels safer. And underneath all of it, trousers over your swimsuit, so absolutely nothing extra can show. And instead of rest, you get tension. You watch yourself every second. You wait for the beach to empty so you can quickly, while nobody's looking, slip into the water and hurry back under the umbrella. And the worst part is that those 2 weeks pass, and you never really feel the sea at all. You were near it, but not in it. This feels very familiar to me. And I'm talking about it not from above, not as some stern critic who's about to explain what you're doing wrong. I'm talking as someone who's with you, someone who understands where this habit of hiding comes from and why it sits so deeply in us. And that's exactly why I want to work through how to change it with you today. But let's agree right away on what this video won't be about. There won't be a single word about diets. I'm not going to tell you that you have to lose a certain number of kilos first, and only then can you go to the beach. I'm not going to send you off to cosmetologists and promise that some procedure will fix everything. And listen carefully. There won't be any ads for miracle lingerie that supposedly hides everything, holds everything in, and makes you 20 years younger. You're a grown woman. You've seen that kind of thing 100 times. And you know perfectly well what those promises are worth. I want to talk about a real body, about the one you have now, not the one you'll have someday later, after effort and suffering, but the one you live in today, and about specific, simple, practical solutions that work for that body. No magic, no shame, no endless, if only I were just a little bit. I've broken everything down into 7 steps. 7 calm, sequential steps we'll go through together. Some of them are about clothes, what to choose, what to avoid, and why one thing works while another, on the contrary, exposes your tension completely. Some are about caring for yourself before you travel, and here I'm going to surprise you, because we're not talking about what you might think. And closer to the end, there'll be the most important part. And this is where I want to ask you to watch this video to the end. Not because that's what people are supposed to say in videos, but because the last, 7th step isn't about clothes at all. It's an observation I gathered on southern resort beaches, where women from all over the world come to relax. I watched for a long time how women our age, over 60, behave there. And I noticed one habit. One simple thing that costs nothing, something absolutely every one of you can do tomorrow, with no preparation at all. And that's the thing that changes everything. Not the swimsuit, not the tunic, not the sandals, this one free habit. I'll tell you about it at the end, and I promise it's worth staying for. But first, before we move on to the first step, I need you to do something with me. Something small, but important. We need to change one mindset in your head, the very one everything starts with. So many women over 60 look at their bodies as if they were a list of flaws. Here it's gained weight, here it's not as firm anymore, here the skin is different, here are veins, Here are spots. And every morning in front of the mirror feels like a check, an exam you already failed before you even began. And with that attitude, of course, it's scary to go to the beach. Who'd want to put on display what you yourself consider a defect? But let's look at it differently. Your body isn't a draft that needs rewriting. It isn't a mistake that needs fixing. It's a body that has lived a whole, full life. It carried children. It worked. It hugged loved ones, got through hard times, and rejoiced in the good ones. These hands have done so much. These legs have carried you so far. Wrinkles, softness, gray hair. These aren't breakdowns. They're traces of a life lived. They're the map of your life, and it's a worthy one. And then my task and our shared task in this video sounds completely different. Not hide it, not camouflage it, not look slimmer, but dress this body so it feels comfortable, so it feels good, so it looks neat and calm, without shame, without excuses, without that endless, just don't look at me. Because a woman who is well cared for and calm looks beautiful at any age and in any figure. That's a truth tested 1,000 times over. And by the end of our conversation, you won't just hear it from me, you'll feel it. So settle in comfortably. Pour yourself some tea if you like. We're starting, and the first step is the most common stumbling block, the very thing almost everyone gets wrong right there in the shop. It's the swimsuit. And now I'll tell you how to choose it properly. So, the swimsuit. Step 1, and immediately the most painful, because everything begins with it. Let me describe 2 typical mistakes, and you'll surely recognize at least one. The first mistake: a woman goes into a shop, sees a swimsuit she likes overall, but it's closed, thick, high-necked, like it's made of armor. The logic is simple. The more covered up it is, the safer it feels. So she buys it. And in the end, she looks as if she's headed not to the sea, but to a medical procedure. Covered up doesn't mean well put together. The more we try to hide everything, the more obvious it becomes that we're hiding. The second mistake is the opposite. Something very bright is chosen, with a big, busy floral print, parrots, huge patterns. With the thought, let them look at the print, not at me. But a busy print works exactly the other way around. It pulls the eye in and emphasizes every fold it lies on. It's loud, it's fussy. What we need is calm. Now for the right solution. A one-piece swimsuit. Yes, a one-piece. And don't be afraid of the word. It hasn't looked old-fashioned for a long time. With a soft V-neck. It visually lengthens the neck and décolletage, opening the most beautiful part, the one that hardly changes with age. With a light drape over the stomach. Those are soft folds of fabric that flow rather than cling, and the stomach under them simply gets to rest. Medium-width straps, not thin little cords that cut in, and not broad, sporty straps either. Medium, comfortable, reliable, color. And this is the most important part. We move away from black, where half of you are hiding right now, and from screaming prints. We choose muted, noble tones: plum purple, smoky gray, warm khaki, deep emerald green. These colors look expensive on any skin and don't demand a perfect figure. And the fabric. Let it be textured, a little dense, with a matte, elegant finish, not cheap, shiny material that glints and exposes every unevenness. And my main buying tip: don't torture yourself in a store fitting room with that awful overhead light that makes everyone look tired and rumpled. Order several options to your home right away. Different styles, different colors, and try them on at home, calmly, in daylight by the window. You'll be surprised how differently everything looks when nobody's breathing down your neck and the light is normal, human light. Step 2. The Perio. I know how many of you love it, and I have to say something unpleasant. Let's say goodbye to it. Cloth wrapped around your hips that you keep adjusting and retying is read by everyone around you very clearly, as an attempt to cover up. A Perio literally screams, "Here is the thing I want to hide." And no matter how much you adjust it, it doesn't give you freedom, only extra fuss. Replace it with a loose beach tunic, not fitted, but truly loose, flowing, just above the knee, made of light cotton or soft viscose, so the fabric breathes and feels pleasant against your skin in the heat. In light shades, milky, sandy, pale blue, light mint. And wear it open or just draped on, not buttoned up tight. Do you see the difference? In a Perio, you're hiding. In a tunic, you're dressed. They're two completely different stories, and people feel it instantly. Step 3 is footwear, which almost everyone forgets. And that's a shame. Put away the rubber flip-flops, the ones you shuffle in across hot sand, and which, by the way, ruin your posture. Your foot doesn't stay in them, you curl your toes, you trip, and your whole body starts to fall out of sync. The sound of that shuffling itself makes your gait look older. The replacement is flat leather sandals with a light sole, with a 2 or 3 centimeter platform. A very small heel that lifts you just a little, straightens your back, and makes your step more confident. In sandy, honey, coffee tones, they go with everything and don't show dirt the way white ones do. In sandals like these, you don't shuffle, you walk. Step 4 is 3 accessories, and only 3, no more than that. They make up 80% of the look, while your body isn't even the point. First, glasses in the right shape, with a warm frame, not black and not mirrored silver, but in brown, amber, tortoiseshell tones. They soften the face and also hide anything you might feel self-conscious about around the eyes, and they do it naturally. Second, a hat made of natural straw. Not a tiny cap, but a proper hat with a 9 to 12 centimeter brim. It protects the face and neck from the sun, which at our age is simply necessary, and at the same time instantly adds that unmistakable resort feel. In a hat, any woman looks as if she's relaxing somewhere wonderful and has long known how to do it. Third, a roomy woven bag made of natural materials. Not a plastic bag, not a city handbag, but a light woven one that can hold a towel, water, and a book. It completes the picture and tells everyone around you, this woman has come to relax in style. And before we move on to step 5, stay with me a little longer, because what comes next is the most interesting part, and there's still that observation from the southern beaches ahead, the one I hope made you stay. Step 5 is body prep. And let me clarify right away. This is not about losing weight. Not a single word from me about dropping kilos. I promised. This is about care, about looking after yourself. The difference is huge. 10 days before your trip, start moisturizing your skin every evening. Simply after your shower, calmly and without rushing, apply cream or body lotion all over. Skin after 60 is drier, and when it's moisturized, it looks completely different. Softer, fresher, smoother. It's 10 minutes in the evening, but in a week and a half, you won't recognize yourself. Get a neat pedicure. Not bright, not flashy, but in a neutral polish, pale pink, beige, or clear with a little shine. Well-groomed feet in open sandals are the detail that gives away a woman who loves herself. Take care of your hair. Refresh the color, trim the ends. In the heat and from salt water, hair suffers, and it's better to arrive at the sea with an already healthy, well-kept hairstyle. And last, use a cream with a light glow. Just a little, on the shoulders, the collarbones, the shins. Not glitter, but a soft, barely noticeable radiance that makes the skin look fresh. as if you've just come back from a walk and are glowing from within. See? No diets, no suffering, just care. And now, once we've sorted out what to wear and how to prepare, we're left with the most important thing. The thing that matters more than any swimsuit. That's in the third and final part. So here we are at the most important point, and I want you to listen especially carefully now, because what I'm about to say is more important than any swimsuit, any tunic, or any sandals, all combined. You can buy the best one-piece swimsuit in a noble color, you can pick out a hat and a bag, you can moisturize your skin for 10 days, and still come to the beach and sit under an umbrella wrapped in a towel. Because clothes are only half the job. The other half is how you carry yourself. And that's where step 6 begins. Let me describe two women. They're the same age, they have roughly the same figures, and imagine they're even wearing similar swimsuits. But to everyone around them, they look completely different. The first woman fusses. She changes out of her clothes furtively, under a towel, looking around to see whether anyone is watching. Then she hurries to the water, hunched over, her head drawn into her shoulders, almost running, as if she wants to cross those few meters unnoticed. She gets into the water and immediately starts covering herself up again, even while standing waist-deep in the sea. Everything about her says one thing. Don't look at me. I'm embarrassed. I shouldn't be here. And do you know what people pick up on? Not her figure. They don't even have time to look at her figure. They pick up her anxiety, her tension, her sorry, I'm here. And the second woman does exactly the same things. Changes, walks to the water, swims, comes out, but at a calm, even, unhurried pace. No jerking, no looking back. She takes off her tunic just as calmly as she'd take off a coat in the hallway. She walks straight to the water, without rushing, as if she has the whole day ahead of her and the whole beach at her disposal. And that's exactly what people pick up. That calm. Not the folds, not the age, the calm, the dignity, that sense of, I'm at home here. And this is important to understand. That calm is read instantly, literally within the first 20 steps from the sun lounger to the water. Nobody has time to study you in detail in those 20 steps, but the tone of the way you move is picked up right away. Anxiety is visible from a distance, and calm is visible from a distance too. The choice is yours, and it costs nothing. I should say something separately about the towel, because this is a real sore spot. A towel is for blotting your skin after the water. That's it. That's its only job. It isn't a shield. It isn't an invisibility cloak. It isn't supposed to be wrapped around you from armpits to knees for the entire time you're on the beach. Blot your shoulders, face, and hands, and lay it aside. When you stop clinging to the towel as if it were protection, half the tension goes away. Try it for yourself. And now, step 7. That very observation I asked you to stay for to the end. Thank you for being here. I spent quite a lot of time watching women on southern resort beaches, the kind where people from all over the world relax, where there are many women our age, over 60. And you know what struck me? They behave as if the beach were their own territory, not a stage where they're being judged, not an exam they have to pass, just a place they've come to relax, because they have every right to. And I kept thinking about what their secret was. Expensive swimsuits? No. Perfect figures? Definitely not. The figures there are perfectly ordinary, just like yours and mine. The secret turned out to be one single switch in the head. This thought, the beach isn't a stage or an exam, it's a place to rest. And, listen carefully, nobody around you is actually judging you, because everyone is busy with themselves. Just as you worry about how you look, everyone around you is worried about themselves. Nobody's sitting there studying other people's stomachs. Everyone's too busy. Everyone has their own thoughts, their own holiday, their own sea. That simple habit, shifting your thought from, how do I look to them, to, I came here to relax for myself, is that one free thing that changes everything. It costs nothing. It's available to every one of you, starting tomorrow if you want. I'll tell you a little story. On that beach, there was one woman. I didn't know her, and we didn't exchange a single word. Gray hair, a simple dark swimsuit, nothing special, a straw hat. She was just sitting there with a book. Every so often, she'd look up at the water, gaze into the distance, then return to the pages. And believe it or not, on that crowded beach, she was the one who drew the eye. Not the young women, not the bright ones, not the ones in fashionable swimsuits. Her. Because of her calm. Because she felt good. Because she was at home in her body, and in that day. That's where I've been leading you through this whole video. A body that has lived 60 years doesn't need excuses. It doesn't have to apologize to anyone for what it is. It doesn't need to hide under shirts and trousers over a swimsuit. It needs very little. A good one-piece swimsuit in a noble color. A light tunic that feels easy to breathe in. Comfortable sandals you can walk in with confidence. A hat, glasses, a woven bag, and, most importantly, a woman who wears all of it with dignity, calmly, as if she were at home. You've earned this sea, not from a distance, not from under an umbrella, not in a sneaky moment after the beach has emptied. For real. Going into the water when you want to, feeling the sun on your shoulders, the water holding you. How good it is just to be here. Those 2 weeks a year, they're yours. They're too precious to spend in tension. Give them to yourself completely. If this video resonated with you, subscribe to the channel. We talk about things like this here with care and honestly, and I'd be glad to see you again. And now, write to me in the comments, just one thing. Which sea is your favorite? Which one do you return to in your thoughts? Which one do you dream about? I'm very curious, and let's gather there in the comments, our warm little group. See you soon, and go to the water. It's waiting for you.